Hi everybody, this is iCrafts, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Stearia bracelet. This is not my own original design. It is designed by Loom with Louise on Instagram, and it is reversible, so this is one side. Here's the other. To make this bracelet, you will need any type of loom, a hook, and because on the middle of this bracelet there is a lot of stress, you might want to use a metal tipped hook. That's what I'm using, and I definitely recommend this so you don't break any bands. And as for bands, I will be using white for the border right here. And then for the insides, I will be using Galaxy Pink/Blue and Caribbean Green. So you will also be needing a C-clip or S-clip, and I really love these colors, especially in this bracelet. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is have our arrows pointing away from us, and I'm just going to be doing the zigzag part. So this is really easy. It's just 2 single chains, and I'm going to start with Caribbean Green and just go from the center peg out to the left and then inwards. And then I'm just going to be doing a single chain on the left and middle pegs. So this is really easy. I'm just going to do it up the entire length of my loom, but I'm going to end on this peg. And I've mentioned this in a few tutorials, but just the way my lighting is, it makes my hands look really red. So I'm sorry about that. Just going to keep going. And this bracelet may seem very straightforward, but when you get to the hooking process for some of the bands we'll place later on, you can see that it's more complex than it actually looks. Oops, I grabbed the wrong band. So I'm going to place my last Caribbean Green band. So my loom looks like this. And you can probably guess, but basically we're going to just do the same thing on the other side of our loom. So we're going to have 2 single chains. So I'm taking my Galaxy bands now. And these bands glow in the dark, by the way, so they look really nice. I'm just going to do another single chain. And you've probably seen these bands in my last rainbow haul. Okay, so my last band is like this. It kind of looks like a diamond pattern, but you just have to make sure that this layer is below, this layer is above. It's not like overlapping, if that makes any sense. The layers are totally separate with each color. The next thing I'm going to do is place a single chain up the middle, and this time it's going to be straight. It's not going to be a zigzag like the other ones. For this I'm using white. This is the band's placement that has kind of a weird hooking process. And you don't see it all that much in the end, but it does kind of show up a little bit. So I'm just going to basically go up the entire middle pin bar. It's very easy. And I know I did go kind of fast, but you can feel free to pause as usual. And it just looks like that. And the last bands we're going to place are the border. And this way it kind of has the middle part on top of the border, and I think it gives it a really cool look. And it also makes it more comfortable. So I'm going to be overlapping some of the bands. So I'm just going to go outwards. And the reason I don't explain this all that much is because it's a very basic border. Now, on either side, you're just going to go upwards. And if there is a lighting change in this video, probably because I might not be able to record this tutorial all in one day, since I have a lot of tests. I have a math, science, and Spanish test tomorrow. But luckily I am getting a new organizer for my bands, so I will be doing an unboxing, haul, and maybe review. It's not going to be a haul because I only got one item, but still going to unbox it. And that video will be up by the time this one is, so make sure to go check that out. You can just look at my channel. Now I'm just going to close it off. And then this is what the entire length of your loom should look like. So now that I have finished the placement, you can just turn your loom around. I'm going to make a cap band on these two pins, just twist it around twice. And you can make it on just this pin, but it's a little easier to show if I do it on two. And this way the cap band definitely does not fall off. So I'm going to grab my hook, go inside, and just grab the top band, and this is going to the left, so I'm going to loop it that way. Then the next band goes to the right. And now all I'm going to do is just loop the entire border. So it's very straightforward. You're just going to stay on the first layer and only loop the white bands on the outer pin bars. And the middle will be looped differently, so just don't go ahead. And if you see me going like that with my hook, I'm just straightening out any bands that may be crooked. And sorry that I kind of cut part out, but I turned flash on and it looked really bad, so I just cut that part out where I had a flash on. It just made my hand look really weird. So you are going to loop the border bands inwards. You're not going to wait till the end or anything like that. And now it's basically just a looped border. This is where it kind of has a lot of tension. So if you do have a metal tip hook, I would definitely recommend using it here, if not for the entire bracelet. So I'm going to go inside the cap band, which I can release. Pick up this first band. It does not go forward. It's actually going to go around these two pegs. So it's kind of hard to explain. Just going to put it on this peg. You don't want to turn it or anything like. You don't want to turn it like that. Just want to place it on and then stretch it to the other side. So it's going to look kind of weird, but now I'm just going to grab the next one, and this goes around both pins, And if there's a way that makes more sense to you to do this, as long as it ends up being the same placement, then that is totally fine. It's kind of hard to explain. But you just want to make sure that it kind of goes across your loom. So it's like a horizontal band, but it's on the middle as well. And if you cannot do this, you can just loop it forwards, and the bracelet will still turn out fine. It'll just look different. So if you really cannot do this because you don't have a metal hook or your bands are not good enough quality, then again you can just loop forwards and you'll have a little bit of a different bracelet, but it'll still look nice. And you will see these bands in the end. So I've done that, and I know I did go kind of fast, but I have done this bracelet before, obviously. So you can always pause, and I'm kind of just evening out this, but it doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to go back inside the cap band, and I'm going to grab the first layer, which is my purple, and I'm going to loop that to the left. And I'm just going to loop the entire purple single chain and just ignore the curving green bands. So just go inside all those bands. Here's the top layer, and then it's the bottom one. Just keep going, and if you need to push your bands down, then feel free. These bands are actually surprisingly stretchy, and they don't twist as much as you'd think they would, so I definitely recommend buying these bands. And the blue and pink and blue bands are basically the same. There's a lot of galaxy bands that are the same. They're just inverse, and I would recommend only buying one of them. I'm not sure exactly what the difference is. I guess these are a little bit more pink, and the other ones are more purple or blue. Okay, so again, feel free to pause the video, and I know I say that a lot, but it's true. And if I can get to focus, this is what my loom looks like. You can see I've only looped the purple. So now I'm going to go back to the bottom. Now I'm going to loop the green bands. I'm going to go faster here. And I kind of messed up here, but I can just put it back on the pin if it falls off. And messed up here too, but just ignore that. Everyone makes mistakes. And my hand really hurts from looming, but I finally have finished. This is what my loom looks like. It's pretty crazy, but it will turn out perfectly fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and take everything off the loom except for this pin, and I will actually go ahead and grab a border band and just put my hook through everything, pull the border band through, and lift it off the loom, you want to be pretty careful because there is some tension on the bands. So I'm going to just use an extra hook to take it off. If you don't have one, then you can always secure this band on a pencil and then use your hook. So I'll be right back when I've taken the whole bracelets off of my loom. So this is what the bracelet looks like right off my loom. As you can tell, it looks kind of messy, so I'm just going to show you how to straighten it out. So if you see some bands that are twisted, you can go ahead and just use your fingers to untwist those. So you can just stretch it out a lot. The other side is kind of messier, which is like the signature side, I believe, but I'm going to untwist that as well. Just tug at these bands, make sure you don't pull too hard. Now, here is what my bracelet looks like. I'm going to just make the extension on my hook. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the extension, and I'm going to do a fishtail just to make it a little cooler. And I'm not going to show you how to do this, but comment down below if you want a tutorial. Yeah, as you can tell, this is taking forever to do, so I'm going to just continue this off camera after I finish filming the tutorial because I have to go eat dinner. Obviously, it'll be a lot quicker if you do a normal extension, but I've never done a fishtail extension, so I wanted to try that out. Anyways, that is how you make this really pretty Stearia bracelet designed by Looming with Louise, and Fangirl Looms named it. I believe it was named after Stearia Looms, but I'm not positive. And it is reversible. It's slightly different on this side. And if you like this tutorial, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and post it on Instagram to these hashtags so we can like your pictures. Also, you can feel free to tag us in the photo. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Sorry it was not the greatest. I was kind of rushing. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!